We're the final bosses, and today we're going to prove to you that Emperor Belos is a human. By the end of this video, we hope you'll all be with us on that thought. With that out of the way, let's fight.
So we don't know what the main race of the Boiling Isle is called. They could be witches, they could be elves. Well, we don't know for sure. We do know there are many races on the Isle, and humans are not one of them. At least until Luz came along. Well, there had to be some humans before, as they are a known race. Ida sells their stuff, and human artifacts are illegal. Not to mention Gus is president of the Human Appreciation Club. So, outside Ida grabbing human things and bringing them to her world, there's some connection, but we don't know what it is. And we do know that humans are not illegal, so if their stuff is illegal but humans are not, that would have to mean they're so rare that there's just no rule for them. This then makes you wonder, why is human stuff illegal? Well, as we mentioned at the top, we think Emperor Belos is a human. So let's start with Belos from our world. Belos is the name of the sometimes human, sometimes giant from Babylon, who made the Ziggurat, also known as the Tower of Babel. He vanished and ascended to a god. He is also a god from Greek mythology that spent time with Zeus. So bringing all this knowledge to the Owl House, it's not hard to think that Belos is a human who thinks he is a god or is using something to become a god.
Well, that's light on proof. So let's talk about the illegal human items. Why are they illegal? What if they're illegal because they could lead back to Belos, that he is afraid that something will be found that shows he is a human? Something interesting is there's a place in the prison in the first episode of the show filled with human items that only a human can enter and get the stuff out. Why in the world is there a prison in the Boiling Isles, in the Emperor's prison of all places, that only a human can enter? Now you're starting to see what we're seeing. There are too many coincidences building on top of one another to ignore. Let's talk about Harry Potter. There are many relics in Harry Potter, like the Deathly Hallows, the Sword of Gryffindor. Now, the Sword in Gryffindor obviously is connected to the House of Gryffindor, so what if I told you the covens in the Owl House also had relics? You can see them on the flags of the covens, like the Power Coven has the gauntlet, and the Healing one is a hand wrapped in a bandage. The Bard has a harp. I mentioned these three in particular because we see these relics. Well, not in the show, but when this video comes out, you should see them around episode 18 or 19. But you can see them from the still. Here is Rilla holding the gauntlet, and Luz using the healing hand. The harp is over to the right. We don't see all of Gus, but we can assume that he is holding the mirror, which represents the losing coven. So these artifacts are in the Emperor's hold, and he is the one who made the covens. Why would the Emperor someone who's supposed to be all-powerful, need these relics? Maybe it's because he's human, and they help amplify his lack of magical power.
Side note, let's look at the covens you join when you're an adult. There are many, but they all feed back into the school covens. Each of these seal off your other powers using glyphs. We only see one other character using glyphs, and that is the human Luz. It feels like the relics are being used to control the magic. Another side note is Amity. We've been wanting to talk about the ears since episode 3. Amity has smaller ears than every other witch in the Isle. We noticed this and her dyed hair early on, but we got to see her true hair color, which is red and brown, while her siblings have pure green hair. What we think, and this is by far the weakest part of our theory, is that Amity is half human, and the human half is the Emperor. He used the power he has to have a child with an upstanding family, like the Blights, who, from what we have seen, would have easily volunteered to increase their standing. This is a large part why Amity has human things, and the family doesn't try to get rid of it, because it came from the Emperor himself.
It all fits together nicely and would explain a lot. We're going to close with a theory that fits with this, but we have no real proof. On the books found in the library and the trailer breakdown, they show text that, according to translated, say lore, history of the Boiling Isles, and the Titan and his spawns. Again, no real proof of this, but let's take it and run with it for a second. The Boiling Isles is the Titan, and the demons are his spawn. We have seen some powerful demons, but most seem to not have a lot of magic ability. Look at King and his story. It's not far off to say that Belos stole the power of the demons, King included, and placed them in the relics. to control the magic and the world. But in reality, king should be king. Some hints to this are the Greek god spawned from a Titan, and Zeus is a connection to Belos. But yeah, this part has no proof, but would be cool if it were true.
So that's our theory on Emperor Belos and his true nature. We hope you really enjoyed it, guys. And if you have any theories about our house or want to comment on our theories, just leave a comment and go ahead and leave us a like. And as always, we have been
The Final Bosses.